board members, if I can get you to take your seats or help round people up to take their seats, that'd be good. Okay. We're going to get back into our opening business, but we're going to jump to education highlights. We have, do I have this right? Is it Kun Wen? Got it. Preventional specialist with Patty Norman, Deputy Superintendent of Student Achievement, and then also Jeff Van Holten, Director of Public Affairs. We're getting ready for our education highlight. Is Kun Wen going to take point, or Jeff, is that you?
I'm just going to pass it over to Kun Wen, who's online with our education highlight today.
Okay.
And this would be a great time for the students and teachers that are online with Kun to turn on their cameras.
Kun Wen, would you take point on this? Right now we have a blank screen. I know that a lot of people are looking forward to this. And oh, here we go.
There they are.
Welcome. Kun Wen, you're in charge.
Good
Turn the
morning.
time over to you.
Can you see me okay? Hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, good morning, board member. First, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present to you this morning. My name is Kun Wen, Prevention Specialist with the Prevention and Student Service team. I oversee restorative practice training and manage the Utah Do the Right Thing Challenge. Second, I would like to thank you, the board, and for board member Lear for your support of the Do the Right Thing Challenge. Board member Lear has participated as a VIP judge in reviewing and ranking of finalists for the past 2 years. In addition to board member this year, board member presented award to our top 4 finalists at the 2021 Do the Right Thing recognition event in May. So thank you, board member Lear, and we look forward to your continued participation. Third, along with me today are parents, teacher, and our top 4 finalists for the 2021 challenge, which you will have a chance to recognize all of them in a little bit later in the presentation. We are here today to recognize and celebrate their success and their important work. But first, I would like to take a little time just to go to the background of the program and how we get here. So the program at the national level is sponsored by the Kuwait American Foundation. The purpose is to involve youth on both country in Kuwait and United States to establish a way to keep peace in the world through youth voice. Nationally, it is managed by the National Campaign to Stop Youth Violence. Locally, it's sponsored by the Utah State Board of Education with the Prevention and Student Service. Previously, it's at the Utah Board of Juvenile Justice Governor's Office, and this is our 20th anniversary, and I've been involved more than 10 years in this program. For the 2021 challenge, 1,100 students participated in classroom discussion. 580 students prepared and submitted writings, and 380 writings were evaluated by college students, and we select 24 as a state finalist, including 2 ambassadors. The program, it is aimed at 7th and 8th grade students. We encourage students to make a commitment to make positive step to change the problem, break the cycle of violence in their home, school, and their neighborhood. They answering 3 questions. How has youth violence affected each and the student's life? What are the causes of youth violence through youth perspective? And what can the youth do in the community, and what can they themselves do to reduce youth violence? The program meet our core state standard, and we are aiming at 7th and 8th grade teachers. They are English, health, civic, and history teachers are the teacher that we encourage to evaluate and have their students participate in this program. For the 2021 Do the Right Thing Challenge, just a timeline. In October, we sent out information. Teachers have a 3.5 months to prepare students and have in-classroom discussion. and write and submit those essay. By mid-January, college students will have a chance to review all of this essay, and we take the highest average score, and we select a top winner, a boy and a girl per school as a state finalist. We then take that list and forward it to VIP judges for them to, they have a hard duty of reviewing and ranking those essay, and we select the top two as the two runner-up and two national finalists or ambassador. And then we have a nice recognition event for our students. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we were unable to invite and recognize our state finalists in person this year. But we did celebrate achievement virtually with parents, teachers, school principal, friends, and special guests. We had the honor of having board member Lyra present the top 4 finalists, as I shared earlier. We hope to go back in person in 2022 event. Each student will get a student's gift and have a certificate signed by our state superintendent, Dixon. There will be 20 students who received it, $300 scholarship put into my 529 account. The 2 runner-up get $400, and then the final national finalists receive $500 deposit to their my 529 account. I just want to share, this is heartbreaking to say, because of COVID, we were unable to send our ambassadors to Washington this year. We hope to send it next year. But if they do, is a 5-day to Washington meeting with our congressional delegation and their peers in Washington, D.C. But again, due to COVID, we hope it will settle down and can send our student for the 2022 event. For the 2021 Do the Right Thing Challenge, we had 22 teachers and 12 from 12 schools, representing 7 school districts. We like to take the moment to thank our teacher for encouraging their students to participate in this program. We all know that this has been anything but a normal year. We look forward to your continued support. And I just want to present a list of student teachers here who participate in 2021 initiative. So at this moment, I would like to direct your attention to our top 4 finalists for the 2021. Runners-up receive a $100 gift certificate, a student gift, and $400 each deposited to my 529 education account. It's always come back to how hard I compare myself to others. I thought to myself, how come I looked at this? How come I thought like this? I always just thought that there's no solution for this. I was going to be stuck for this forever. Lexi Antonino from Diamond Fork Junior High, and teachers is Riley Ryan. At this point, if I can ask parent, teacher, and Lexi, if you can open your camera and wave to our audience, and if I may, in your own way, send a vibe and congratulate to Lexi Antonino for her achievement. So congratulations on that. Thank you, Lexi and everyone. The first step is always with ourselves. We must take a look at our own actions and make sure we are not part of the problem. Tyson Anderson, Syracuse Art Academy Junior High, and teacher is Heidi Stone. So we as parent, teacher, and Tyson to wave at the camera. You know that Ms. Stone may be in class, so she may not be here. So if you can recognize our student Tyson Anderson. Recognizing our 2021 national finalists, each receive $125 gift certificates, a student gift, and $500 deposits to the education saving account. Unfortunately, I say earlier, 5-day trip to Washington was not materialized for this year. And but the National Campaign to Stop Youth Violence did recognize virtually hosted an event on September 26th to recognize our youth ambassador along with their peers with other states. So we hope to do that in person next year. So one of the students says that I need to stick up for the small guy, the underdog. No matter how they talk, looked, or their ability to play sport. I need to see people who they are. Co-held Spanish 4 junior high, and teacher is Christine Thompson. And I know that Cole and parents could not be here today, but we still like to recognize this celebration. And Ms. Thompson just shared with me earlier, she may have class, I'm not sure she's here today, but still, we still want to recognize and support our students. People are forgetting the pain that they inflict, but it isn't that common to do. We need to remember no one is perfect. Still, they don't catch that clue. The violence in this nation is as common as the flu. It leads people to devastation. You might get caught it too. Megan Piney, a Spanish 4 junior high, and the teacher is Chancellor Carter. And know you are here, so if you can open your camera and wave, and we want to recognize your achievement. So thank you to our finalists, parents, and teachers for your support. We hope you take this recognition as a token of appreciation for your work. The full essay, along with the state finalists, are available by clicking on the memo that's shared with the board, and is also available on our school.utah.gov prevention. The 2022 initiative was sent to superintendent and charter director. It's also available on our USB website. Please share the information with junior and high school principal and encourage them to participate. The program targets 7th and 8th grade English, history, health, and civic teacher. Board member, please encourage school to participate as you visit school. I also want to extend an invitation to you participating as VIP judge. An invitation will send out later, and the deadline for submission for 2022 is January 14, 2022. And finally, it is important to emphasize that at the end of the day, it is not about the award or the recognition of this student receive, although it's a nice incentive. It is about creating opportunities for our students' voice to be heard. There are students' voices aren't being heard. They suffer in silence. This is a great opportunity to solicit students' thought, to understand their experiences, and listen to their inside voice so that we as adults can better tailor our service attention to the well-being of our students. Along the way, they are making a difference with contributions to a world of less violence and perhaps world peace. So with that, I thank you for your time, and thank you for remembering everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Kun Wen, and also want to make sure we recognize all the educators that helped make this happen, and to Lexi and Tyson, Megan, and Cole, thank you for taking advantage of this opportunity and participating and sharing your message. Did we have any other comments from staff, or are we done? Okay, so thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you again for this education highlight. We give them one more round. Okay, getting back into our opening business. Our board member message is going to be shared to us from board member Hart, and I believe you have some. Okay, all right, you got this. So we want to make sure this camera's on you too. So
do your mic.
hit your mic.
Okay, I normally do this as part of an improv teaching lesson, of course. So I wrote down my comments because as an educator, I can tend to pontificate quite eloquently. Here is a picture of one of the quilts I've made. Okay. You can see that it's a colorful butterfly. And depending on your experience with quilts, you may know to look for the stitching or to squint at the binding or any of the other quilting pieces that components that we do. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Well, hold on. That is the top. Okay?
All right.
All right, hold it up. Stand back. Yeah, there you go. All right. Okay. Well, here's the actual quilt. If you were in a class of students, I would ask you, do you see more in the actual quilt than you do in the picture? Is it possible now to give a better description? Do you know more about the quilt? If we had the time, we could talk about the quilt, the designer of the fabric, the techniques used in construction. Then, as the students get closer to touching the quilt, the experience is further enhanced. Then I ask, do you see an owl? Do you see an owl? Anyone? Okay. Some students say, excitedly say yes, because they have conjured an owl out of a few pieces because they want to be right so badly. Some laugh and believe I'm trying to fool them. But then I start to point. It takes some students no time at all and some longer. Now. Yes. Now this could illustrate several lessons. The artistic license I took with color and design in an art class, or the techniques used for construction in CTE, or the scaffolding, because not all students learn at the same rate, or the wait time for students to process, or the opportunities to respond so that all students are engaged in the lesson, which are all strategies we would do in a teacher education class. But the lesson for us, the inspiration that I hope we carry through our work today and tomorrow, is to not forget or be afraid to take the longer look, to really learn for ourselves. Said in another way, the map is not the territory. The picture is nowhere as rich as the real, actual quilt. In fact, the picture is not worth 1,000 words. In this day and age, especially with deceptive social media, the picture may only be worth 5 words. Or in some cases, it might be worth 999. But we cannot forget that it's never 1,000 words. Until you look a little closer, you really cannot see something. We owe it to the students we serve to work hard to look a little closer to our decisions, to our beliefs, to all of our constituents, to in fact look for the owls. Thank you, and let's get to business.
Next, we will do our employee recognition, so we'll invite Superintendent Dixon. You're going to handle Employee of the Month. And our Human Resource Director, Michelle Watts, you're on deck.
We'll just stand right here. I got it. Okay, yeah. All right. All right, normally we would have a podium to stand behind, so we'll stand here. But I am so excited to introduce you to Norma Mata. Norma is an employee that everyone just loves, and I think I read that 3 times in her nomination. So anytime we start a new initiative, we get a lot of calls, as you might imagine. I can't register. Where's my stipend? Where's this class being held? It doesn't matter. You could give a whole long list. Well, Norma is on the phone and in person with letters training. So you all have heard from teachers, probably. And Norma is the person on the phone. And I have had personal emails about how she has so carefully and gently taken care of every educator who calls. So it doesn't matter what the topic is, that's how Norma rolls. She is friendly and kind and gracious and patient. She's always willing to help others. Anytime there's a problem or a challenge, she's the first to say, how do I help? And one of the things I love so much about Norma is that she asks for feedback. You know, it's a challenge to create a culture of feedback. We're vulnerable when we ask for feedback, and I love that Norma does that, and she's always working to learn and improve. And we had a little moment where she went to another section for another job, and then she was expertly acquired back. I mean, so people fight over Norma in this agency, I'm just saying. So we are really pleased to introduce you to Norma Mata and let you know the kind of employee that you have in Norma and the service that she provides to the public, whether it's a parent or a teacher. That's just who Norma is. And we feel really blessed that she works for us. So you know the drill. Norma gets a parking place. Somebody was that your car there today? Okay, good. I noticed that first thing. I thought, oh, that's Norma. So she gets a parking place. We challenge her to find 8 hours to actually walk away and do whatever she wants. Certificate suitable for framing and a bottle that you have as well. So congratulations, Norma. We're really proud of you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Want to invite our Human Resource Director, Michelle Watts. And say, is it good morning or good afternoon? I'll just say, glad you're here.
Good morning. Okay. I will introduce the new employees that have been hired in August and September of 2021. There are 15 new employees. Elise Fry, Test Admin and Formative Assessment Specialist from West Jordan, Utah. She previously worked as an intermediate school teacher for Washington County School District. Libby Giles, CTE Compliance Specialist. She's from Salt Lake City, previously worked as a purchasing card specialist for Salt Lake Community College. Molly Basham, Early Learning Math Specialist from Central Florida, previously worked as a curriculum developer and trainer for Northrop Grumman. Kathy Gray, SOEP 7th and 8th grade educational specialist from Fruit Heights, previously worked as a 6th grade online teacher for Davis School District. Bethany Marker from Mapleton, Utah. She's a counseling and student service specialist. Previous work was as lead counselor in Nebo School District. Crystal Emery from Northern California. She's the SSIP Post-Secondary Transition Specialist and previously worked as a Transition Services Manager for Easter Seals Goodwill. Amy Steele Smith, Prevention Specialist from Northern Utah, previously worked as a special education teacher for Cache County School District. Joanna Sorensen, Pre-6 Social Studies Specialist from Cache Valley and previously worked as a 6th grade teacher for Davis School District. Stephanie Sue, Research Consultant 2 from Iowa and previously worked as a Research Associate, ACT Inc. and the University of Utah. Charla Lucero, she's an Administrative Secretary from Riverdale, Utah, and previously worked in the Title Department Manager for Young Automotive Group. Caitlin Harris, CMP Administrative Secretary from Salt Lake City, Utah, and previously worked as a Patient Relations Specialist for the University of Utah Cardio Clinic. Michelle Glatley, School Counseling and Student Services Specialist from Salt Lake City, previously worked as a school counselor in Granite School District. Austin Moody, SOEP Fiscal Analyst, Support Staff from Riverside, California, previously worked as at Cost Basis Tax Retirement Specialist for E-Trade. Sydney Brown, Child Nutrition Specialist from Idaho Falls, Idaho, previously worked as a clinic volunteer coordinator for the Utah County Health Department. And Danielle Perez, Child Nutrition Specialist from Salt Lake City, Previously worked as a community dietitian for the University of Utah Health. Welcome to all of our wonderful new employees.
Yeah. Thank you, Michelle. And welcome to our team, the new employees. Next, we'll invite Kathy Jensen, our Fine Arts Education Specialist. Tell us about the artwork.
Good morning, Board Chair Huntsman and members of the board. It's always a pleasure to be here with you and present the art this morning, beginning with the southwest wall. This is from Mill Creek Elementary under the direction of Kimberly Payneau, second grade mountain habitats. The students studied the importance of quaking aspen in our environment for animals. The aspens provide shade, food, and shelter to many of the animals that might not be able to survive, especially through the winter without them. They observed and described the aspen in detail, looking at the various traces of life left on their white trunks. There are bear claw marks, antler rubbings, broken branches, and repetitive lines. Then the students worked collaboratively using the art concepts of organic line and pattern to create the mural that you see of the animals and the beautiful trees. And aren't our aspen trees just spectacular right now? Also from Mill Creek, you'll recognize some volcanoes. The students studied The Scream by the Norwegian expressionist artist Edvard Munch and learned about that particular piece of artwork's tie to a volcanic eruption in 1883. They learned about volcanoes and their eruptions before choosing a specific type of volcano to create out of soft pastels. See if you can identify different types of volcanoes: stratovolcano, shield volcano, caldera, or mid-ocean ridge volcanoes. So over here, Kristen Anderson at Enoch Elementary. These are kindergarten students. They studied the book, The Many Colors of Me. They then created their self-portraits in a monotype print, choosing the color they felt best represented their feelings. You can see that this is a direct tie to the Portrait of a Graduate strand of autonomy and self-awareness. Then next to that, I have the book You Matter. The students at Franklin Elementary, under the direction of Jennifer Scheel, read the book You Matter by Christian Robinson. The book talks about the many different circumstances that each of those individual students might find themselves exploring. Sometimes you feel lost and alone. There's nothing in the book that talks about the pandemic, but the message is, no matter what your circumstances, you matter. Every student in the school then created their individual portrait, showing that each individual does matter. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful art. And I'm sure you appreciate your job with all the wonderful creations that this state youth put together. So thank you for what you do and also for sharing this.